Will the market go up or down? Should you lock in or float? Find out this and more with Master of the Markets, hosted by Barry Habib of MBS Highway. Brought to you by Paramount Residential Mortgage Group.
Welcome to another edition of Master of the Markets. I'm Barry Habib, and MBS Highway is created exclusively for NMP TV, and it's brought to you by our good friends at PRMG who are working for your best interest. It's jobs week, so this is going to be a big one here. It could be a very pivotal time for interest rates, and mortgage-backed securities also at a critical juncture to start the week. They just broke above their 200-day moving average, but facing another ceiling. And we break above this, we've got some room to run here. But the thing of it is, if we get knocked down, we could see interest rates worsen throughout the week. So it's going to be pretty volatile. We'll keep a watch on it, and the jobs report could certainly add to that volatility at the end of this week. Now, last week was a big one for housing. There was a lot of news last week. We did get the Fed meeting. Of course, they're kicking the can down the road, saying they're only buying $40 billion a month in mortgage-backed securities. Everybody believes that. But they're buying much, much more than that. $40 billion a month for the first 6 months would have amounted to $240 billion. But you know how much they bought? $680 billion. That's a lot more. It's more than just a little bit of an increase there. And they say that that is the reinvestment. But you're still buying these mortgage bonds. They're buying 40% of the market this year. Last year, they bought 50% of the marketplace. So when we think about a taper, they're not going to touch the reinvestment, which is the lion's share. If they tapered even 25%, and let's imagine they did it from the beginning of the year, instead of $680 billion, they would have purchased $620 billion. And not such a big difference, so not a lot to fear on the taper. Plus, it looks like they're pushing that decision into 2022, at least before they do that. They're citing that we don't get full jobs yet. That's why this job recovery is going to be very important, and we will see those numbers come up this Friday, I think. But here's what's interesting. Come September, getting paid to stay home, that's going away. So as people start to look for jobs, you know what actually happens? We've seen this with the states that ended those benefits early. The unemployment rate actually goes up. So why would that happen? It's because more people who were not counted since they were not looking for a job, they enter the labor force. Now you have more people that have entered the labor force, get counted as unemployed, but they start searching for jobs. And over time, they will start to get those jobs. And you'll see the unemployment rate numbers improve as we progress. But we are seeing job creations increase, even though the unemployment rate is going up. So things to consider. Now, housing was a big week for housing news last week, and a lot of misinformation. So we did get pending home sales signed contracts on existing homes, represents 85% of the market. And oh my goodness, it dropped 1.8% month over month. Now that's from May to June. And when we look at that, is that a bad thing? Well, it's coming off of a really big month where we were up month over month from April to May by 8.4%. So maybe it's just a little bit of a breather off this torrid pace. And these are sales, these are signed contracts. But people are saying this at the end of the housing market. Then the Mortgage Bankers Association also showed that we're down purchase-wise on applications, down 18% year over year. It seems like this is problematic. Diana Olick comes out with a big headline saying the housing boom is over. So are they right? Well, I don't think they look at the numbers, because when you take a look, first of all, at pending home sales, yes, it is more expensive to buy a home. We know that. It's 16.6% more expensive. So can it discourage people? Of course. But you're not going to live in a tent. What's the alternative? If you're going to rent, the rents are up 14% year over year, so not that big of a difference. But here's the thing with rents. You were seeing rents go up 5.8% year over year. So you get hit with that on a yearly basis. With a mortgage, if it's a fixed rate, that payment stays the same unless your taxes go up, which might change things a little, but certainly not as big as your overall payment going up by as much as 6%. So this is a thing that people don't consider. Once you're in the game, and it's tough to get in the game, we know that. It's a tough time to buy a home. It's not easy, but it's also hard to rent. And those rents go up too. Now, when we take a look at that 18% down on purchase applications, a little bit of a deeper dive shows us that, number one, these are just people that took out mortgage applications. A lot of people buy homes without a mortgage, and that number's increased dramatically. Last year, it represented 16% of the market. This year, it's almost 24%. When you take that into consideration, the real drop in percent, it's still a drop, but purchases are down 9%, but from a very hot level. And in addition to that, when we see that decline, yes, there are factors like 20% less inventory. So maybe the demand's there, but it's harder to find a home. You folks know that. And then even on the new construction side, builders are having a hard time delivering homes because of this widespread chip shortage. All the home appliances that are vital and necessary to get a CO, they're coming in late. Builders are getting delayed. So this is slowing down the process. So listen, there's no doubt, we're coming off of really high levels to see 9%. It's a 9% decline. but it's not 18%, number one. So let's take it for what it is, and let's understand that some of these factors are understandable and not really due to a lack of demand or that the housing market's turning. It's just that the supply isn't there, albeit, of course, some people might be a bit discouraged as well. Hey, I talked about the markets. Let's watch that very carefully this week. And if you want to do that and get all this information so that you can really see what's going on, explain it to your customers, explain it to your realtors, really be that light, that resource, let's get on MBS Highway. Those who have a big advantage over you. Make sure you stay in the game with that too. Be well. Bye-bye.
Be sure to click on the link below for your free 30-day MBS Highway trial.